Hello, beloved friends. Happy Juneteenth. What a powerful day it is and what a powerful weekend it is. This is Awareness Moments with Kyra, and I want to bring to us an awareness about the power of ritual, the power of ceremony, the power of marking a moment in time with a presence that honors and acknowledges and celebrates the greater awareness of what that moment in time represents. I believe that we have the power to actually bring a divine awareness, to bring that conscious communion with spirit alive through ceremony and ritual, through marking these amazing times and moments of connection that have such meaning for each one of us. And Juneteenth is one of those. Welcome, E. Lopez Lockhart. Welcome, Mike Cruz Savala. So we have not only this marking of Juneteenth, which is so significant. And here in our state, in Texas, and we're right by Galveston, where they brought the news of the ending of the war and the freedom of slavery into the Bay and into this place, and it started to spread across Texas. So it's significant for our Texans, but it's significant for everyone around the globe that we have something that marks and celebrates this moment of representing a new freedom and inclusivity that is such an important message at this time, but also the idea that we celebrate and honor with ceremony that is bringing forth a consciousness that acknowledges this significant moment. And the same is true whether we're talking about the solstice ceremony that we do, any kind of ceremony we do for the solstice this coming week, this coming weekend on Saturday night, the solstice, the shifting of seasons, and this solar eclipse that happens that same night overnight. So we have a lot of significant events happening here this weekend. And what is it that represents in our own consciousness, in our own awareness? Are we aware of the significance of certain moments as touchstones, as sacred awareness? Do we bring ceremony and ritual into our lives in ways that mark the passages of these times for us? Well, welcome to Amy Hartgrove-Blesky and to George Powaznik and to Kimberly Wright and Susan Witt. So this is a significant moment, whether we're looking at it from the moment of the awareness of this being Juneteenth, and that is a memorable passage and one that has special significance at this time with all the transitions, because though we had freedom at that time, we are still working towards true freedom, a freedom where everyone is treated equally. Everyone has the same ability and access to the infinite. Now, we know at an infinite level, at a divine level, this is already done and true. In this worldly level, we're learning to start to bring the outside to match the inside, to match the divine blueprint of our equality, of our ability to access prosperity, to live in the abundance of our awareness of the divine. So as we mark these times of ceremony and ritual and passages into another realm, there are levels of this that occur. But each time we ceremonially and we consciously engage, whether it's to come together with speeches and rallies and amazing acknowledgement of this, or whether it's to have a private ceremony within ourselves to acknowledge the inclusivity of all, of the ritualizing the ability to say yes to this kind of equality and begin to say, I am working it at my inner level. Where have I ostracized any part of my own inner society? Where have I carried privilege, white privilege, or where have I carried separation in races and separation in our consciousness of every single one of us having freedom? and really honoring that freedom. This is such a powerful time for us to take a moment and create a ritual, create an honoring ceremony. It can be as simple as lighting a candle, but it's about bringing conscious intent into the world of form, to move to the place where I experience my oneness with all of creation, where I acknowledge the power of those moments and passages, and then I ceremonially bring it into this moment of time to say that I am planting this awareness into my being and into the consciousness of humanity, that we may all mark this moment of remembrance of the acknowledgement of freedom. Let's take it to a new level. What is the level of where we've not really played that out, whether we had it happen at a legal level, and now we want to take it to another level where we're really saying, let this be a national holiday, not just individual states choosing this, but let us really recognize it as a turning point and let it be a turning point today. Whew, I feel the power of that. Let it be a turning point in our history from this moment forward. And that's the point of ceremony and ritual. We create a turning point in our consciousness. We create a turning point in our season, in our awareness, and then our ability to express that into the world. So tomorrow also, when we have the solstice, we're doing a drumming circle. And, this part of it is to mark this passage of the seasons and to really acknowledge the significance of the different seasons of our lives. This has been a spring like no other. And as we move into the summer and the full flowering and the full heat of the transformation of the seasons, we begin to say, what does it mean to live into the power of that summer experience? To honor that we've come through the planting season and now we're watering and nurturing and honoring that new life that's growing in this moment. How are we doing that? Are we really doing that? I mean, it takes, in Texas here, it takes a lot of extra water during this, right? It takes a lot of extra nurturing of what is it that we want to have grow and flourish. Now, some of it's just natural, the greening and the growing, but it also can be that which is drying out the old. And oftentimes things like the wildfires going on in Arizona happen because we have such a strong growth season. And then when it becomes the fire season, it really takes away and burns away the old. Now, we're sending extra prayers and blessings to that wildfire. I have many friends in Arizona, having been there 14 years, and it is quite challenging to be in the midst of that kind of wildfire when it feels so out of control. But don't we all feel the wildfires out of control at this time? The wildfires of our soul that say we are burning away the old and we will not stand for that. We are calling in this time a new way of love and light and freedom for all. A new place of moving into a summer season that is deeply rooted into a new consciousness. And that we are also marking the eclipse. So here we have not only the solstice, with the Juneteenth, with the solstice, but then we have the eclipse overnight Saturday night. And those are times that we are eclipsing out the old to bring in the new. What is the new that you wish to create? Let's mark that in ceremony. Let's create a ritual to a kind of love that we all yearn for with our heart and soul. Let's call forth the eclipsing out of any kind of belief in separation and start to really acknowledge the love that can unify, the divine love, and the movement in our earth and in the consciousness of humanity that brings a new world into existence. This is a very powerful, potent moment. And when we unify with the universal energies of light and wisdom that are available to us, we bring that power to play into the world. And what I wish for each one of us, that we bring that kind of powerful acknowledgement of this moment, the acknowledgement of all of these moments. You can individually create ceremony around Juneteenth, create ceremony around the solstice, create ceremony around the eclipse, because each one of them are like a deepening. And when they come in this trifecta of energies, we can start to know that this is a trinity within our own self, where we are bringing forth the unified fields of consciousness out of a triangle in sacred geometry. You can create all kinds of different structures of geometric expression. All kinds of new awareness can come forth at this time. We can recreate in sacred geometry, in harmony with the universe, the world that we desire to create. So I want to invite you, consider what is the ceremony that will touch into your soul, if it's lighting a candle, if it's drumming and dancing for the solstice, if it's honoring the eclipse even in the dark of the night. It is recognizing that the old is done. It is time, it is time, it is time for the creation of the light, the creation of the true expressions of geometric, which are in harmony, which are in alignment with the divine and with one another. And as we create from those sacred awarenesses, truly everything is possible. We can have such a shift in such a quick moment of time. And I want you to recognize that let's honor that this is the moment, and this is the time, and this is the celebration and the ceremony and the ritual that is marking this transformation on our planet, this transformation in our country, this transformation in the consciousness of humanity and the consciousness of each one of us. So find a way to create ceremony or ritual to acknowledge this Juneteenth, to recognize the importance that this is taking freedom to a new level at this moment. We're marking something that was a timekeeper at a different time, but outside of time, this is a time for it to expand into a new kind of freedom, into a more expanded awareness. And this is same with the solstice and the eclipse. Let this weekend be a power point where consciousness has its way in bringing forth the universal oneness, the place where we operate outside of time, but we come into that unified field and begin to bring it into form. I know that the rituals of my heart and soul and the moments I take to honor those open up an expansiveness as if I move through a portal of consciousness. And so I invite you to find that place that you access a deeper awareness. You turn within and you bring this consciousness into this Juneteenth, into this solstice, into this eclipse. Let us truly mark the turning of the tide of our times. God bless you, friends. May you allow ritual and ceremony to truly bless your lives this weekend and every moment that you mark these sacred celebrations. Thank you, God, for this Juneteenth. Thank you, God, for this time of the solstice and recognizing the movement into the deepening of our ability to water and nurture and fulfill a higher good for all. And thank you, God, for the eclipsing out of the old consciousness that no longer has a place here at this time on our planet and in our being. I'm grateful for each one of you. My heart is full and open, and I hope yours is too as you create these sacred moments. God bless you, friends. And thank you and welcome Mel Conkling, Harold Schultz, and Mark Ehrlichs, and Victoria Frazier. Love to each one of you. And happy Juneteenth indeed. God bless you all.